It's on, we're on. I just wanted to talk about, no, I'm sorry, I just knocked the camera on, but the biggest thing, like we were just talking about how, this is Jenna, Dara, in case this is a new video, and it's on the sofa with J and D. So we just started talking about why don't people, many people don't know what it is they're here to do. Some people know what they'd like to do and they don't do it. So those two things, how do you find...
That's so true.
How do you find your calling? Because you've been in a place where you didn't know what you're supposed to do.
Like,
so have I. And once you find it, what trips people up? Why aren't they doing it? So what would be your suggestion to people to help them figure out what's their thing?
Well, I've been in a place where I've literally had no idea.
Meaning like, career or mission on this planet.
Yes. When I left school, I literally had no idea. And so from that place of not having a clue, it's slightly different from kind of having an inkling that you're not listening to. So from a place of not having a clue, I think the best thing to do is keep asking, stay open, be open, ask for messages, ask to be sparked, ask to be interested, ask to be guided, ask to be led. Lean back on the universe and let the universe move you to that thing. If you're like in a place where it's completely a blank slate, then ask.
Right.
But then that's slightly different to your second point, which is if you have something that you feel like you want to do, like you really have this deep desire to do, but you're not listening.
Or you're just afraid, or you're stuck.
Yes.
I think there's a lot of people who are stuck where they can do it. They can start writing, or start event planning, or start the leather goods business, or whatever it is. Like there's things that people get sparked by. What I think is that, I always think, what's by your bedside, or what are you Googling? Like what's
That's
the thing?
so good.
Like what are you Googling? What are you Googling when you have nothing else to do? What intrigues you? Is it like dolls? Is it fishing equipment? Is it, there's so many different interests in this world. So what do you find yourself doing when you have time? And also, what is the thing you do for free? You would do it for free.
Yes.
We would do this for free. We are doing this because we love to do it. So it's a thing that gives us energy. So that's
another one. Is does it reward you back with the same fulfillment? Does it bring you up when you do it, or does it deplete you when you do it?
Right. So you can be very good at something, but if you notice when you're done doing that thing, you're so very good at it, even if people compliment you, do you feel drained, like you want to lie down, or do you feel like you could keep doing it for hours?
And the thing is, like, of course, after a day of doing something, you've exerted energy, so you're like maybe comfortably tired after doing something you love.
Yes.
But are you exhausted, / a tiny bit resentful, / a little bit bitter? Drained. Yeah. I've written 2 cookbooks. I was good example. At. I was really good at writing cookbooks.
It's a really good example.
Ideas came to me from nowhere. But at the end of the process and every single day, I would hate the day. But again, my mind said to me, but you're good at it, so who are you to say no to doing cookbooks? Because there would be so many other people who would be in your position, who would kill to be in your position. So who do you think you are to not be doing something that you're good at? Mind, trying to hijack me.
But it didn't feel joyful. I had that experience like when I know that well. It's a terrible feeling. It's like the should.
And it's even probably worse if you're in a job that makes you a lot of money, or that you have parents that tell you that a job is like secure, so just because you're good at it, you absolutely should be doing that, because then that closes everything off.
It's like dying a little bit each day. It's like dying. Repressing your true spirit, your true desire, we talked about this yesterday, is repression, and that leads to depression.
Yes. And again, what you're doing is like shrinking a little bit every single day.
Yeah.
So after, let's say, a month of shooting a book, I wasn't comfortable with me. Like when my head hits the pillow and it's just me and me talking to each other, with no one else around to say, it's so great that you got this, or you're so amazing, or you look how much money you have, and like, it's going to be so good for your business, and all the other like kind of societal chat. I don't like it.
And here you are, we made videos yesterday at the end, we were like, we've got to make more, let's do it today. Like, you didn't have that feeling of like, gotta write the book, gotta make the video. It's like, let's do it, because it's inspired, and I feel like it's inspiration from within and from without. So noticing that lift that you get.
Yes. And you know, the other thing is that I feel like we also kind of bound to staying in certain things, or we feel trapped in a job or whatever. But if you can think about it, like, if you're born now, if you're alive now, this is probably the first time in history of the entire world where it's possible and normal that people change careers.
Yes, it's so true. In my growing up, you were supposed to have a forever job, and you were supposed to stay in that job. And I was the weird one, popping around, like, tried this for 3 years and that for 2 years. And at one point, I had this older, beautiful woman say to me, "You keep doing what you're doing. You keep doing that."
I mean, what a blessing! Because imagine what a waste of like having this ability to change your mind and keep doing different things, and then not doing that. Why hold yourself to some old standard? Like, if you're alive right now, it's totally okay to change. So
I saw it as exotic. I saw change as like exciting. I saw it as like, wow, I'll be this woman who has done so many things. If I wanted to, one time I was like, I remember I was living in New York City, and I had just stopped one job, and I was sitting on the floor looking at the newspaper and classifieds. I was sitting there, I was like, "Mom, I'll be an artist." She goes, "You're going to make $7 an hour." She goes, "Is there anything else you thought you want to do?" And I was like, "Well, I've always wanted to do real estate." I never did real estate before, but I was like, that could be really fun. And so it was really funny. I was like, okay, and I called this number to do corporate relocation and sales of apartments in New York City. And I said, "I've never done it before. Can I come in and talk with you?" And the owner of the company was like, "Come on in." So he and the manager met with me, and they liked me. And he said, "Well, pass your test and come aboard." So I passed my test, I came aboard, and I sold an apartment within 2 weeks. And I tried that, and it was time for that to be done. And then I tried some. It was just like,
you just have to go.
But I learned a lot. Do you know how much I learned from doing real estate for a year? Like, it's just so.
It's funny because I don't think anything now, any skill that you pick up, it's always transferable.
Yes.
Like, because the world is so fluid and so connected.
Yes.
That anything you learn how to master is always, you can always take that with you wherever you're going next.
Yes. Yes, the feng shui, the raw food training, the real estate, the wholesale business. I learned how to run a wholesale company. I know retail. I know, you know what I mean, and all that.
And that can apply whether you're selling paper clips or designer shoes.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So what I would say is, like, go for the thing that you love. Like, I would say to my stepbrother who's passed, Bobby, he could have been really happy. And he wasn't happy. And he could have been really happy. And this is a really potent story. He was a pharmaceutical rep. And back in the day where the pharmaceutical companies would pay for the reps to take people to dinners and vacations and this and that. And then that stopped. And he just had a garage full of, like, pharmaceutical tissue boxes and mugs and this and that and pens. And I didn't know all I knew about what I know now. But at that time I was like, this doesn't look right. Something's wrong. And he started getting depressed, and he didn't want to lose his house. And I said, "Bobby, why don't you get a job in a pet store?" He was the kind of person that would take his bird and train it to go poop over the toilet.
Wow.
He trained his dogs. He was, like, amazing with animals. Wow. And I said, if you work at a pet store, then you'll meet people coming in who love their pets, and you'll meet people of like minds. But he couldn't imagine. He goes, "Well, I won't be able to have my house." I go, "Well, that's okay. Get a little apartment and work at the pet store." And in my mind, his love would expand and his life would expand. And he was stuck on the house.
That was full of the mugs,
the pharmaceutical things, by himself in a house. And it really was quite tragic. It's tragic in So remember, like, the pet store.
Yeah. And you know, it's so funny because that's a perfect example of the story of, like, where the mind will hijack you. Because, okay, maybe when you first suggest that to him, there's a part of him that you can feel excites him. And then you just never know when you're committing to the path. Like, imagine something that lights you up isn't just by coincidence. It's the universe giving you your divine purpose. So if it lights you up, it's there to tell you something, and you're meant to follow it. It's not just like some random, crazy, dumb coincidence. It's like meant there for you. So the more you understand that that's a real treasure that you're supposed to take seriously, the more you understand that if you follow the path, there's no amount of planning about how much money you're going to make or what house you're going to live in and whatever that's going to tell you. Like, for example, can you imagine if he worked in a pet store and became so good at training, he could have got his own TV show, or he could have, you just never know.
He could have been a trainer to the stars. He could have been his own TV show. He could have had his own pet store. He could have had his own chain. He could have met the love of his life and gone off. Who knows?
Just
like,
never know.
But him closing down, and him, he also drank a lot of Diet Snapple and Diet Coke, diet stuff and diet things, and just there were a myriad of issues there. But the biggest thing is not going towards the joy and thinking I should have a house, this house, and I need to for status reasons and for.
I mean, if you want the big house, then great.
Yes.
But at the same time, don't think that doing what your passion is just because maybe the starting line is
different. You're right. How did we know that if we go apprentice somewhere that we won't just
open up all the synchronicities,
that's the thing.
All the magic?
Do it for free. Do whatever it is you love to do. Offer your services for free.
I mean,
that's my biggest.
That story of your mom, like saying, "Oh, you'll only make $7 an hour." Like, well, what if you were the most successful artist in the whole entire world? Those guys make like.
She wanted me not to work for someone else because she knew I was capable. I worked for myself doing artistry forever. She's like, really, you're gonna work with another? But yes, you could work for somebody else and it could open you up. You can learn skills.
You just never know. And it's not to say like slave away because you have to be an intern for so long, but at least if you're making a commitment, and it's almost like you're saying to the universe, I am showing up for what lights me up, and you've given me that gift, and so I'm engaging in it with you.
Yes.
And then you're in a conversation with the universe and all the stuff that it has to give you and the help that it has. Yeah. When you're shutting yourself off that communication line, there's no phone line that you guys can.
There's no, you're shutting off. There's no, and think about it, like I did feng shui for a while, and now I get to share it. Like, it doesn't mean that just because I stopped being a consultant that it went away. Yeah, so this is a cool topic. I hope that you guys, whoever is struggling with this, leans towards the thing that brings joy. Lean towards it. Do it for an hour a week. Whatever it is, start it.
Yeah, and don't analyze it too much. Just go.
Just go.
Just follow the joy.
Yeah, follow the heat.
It's important because I think that's the thing that sabotages us most is like, oh, well, if I do this, then I won't have that, or people will think this, or it's all that future
What will people think? I wasted money, I wasted energy, I wasted time going to school for this, I wasted, but I'm close to this. Yeah, it's a lot of people not wanting to give up the security, the imagined security.
Or the status, or the
But then you get sick. I mean, I don't want to say people get sick, but people do get sick from repressing joy. What do you think? Cells must die. I mean, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I think joy is part of like when you meet somebody older who's full of life, they have joy for life.
Yes.
Look at Herbie. He has such a joy for life that it's just keeping him.
And that's like the biggest commitment you can make. And then life takes care of you. It does.
It just does.
Really does.
It just does.
Like doors open in ways you can't even imagine.
You have to be able to let go. You have to be able to let go. You have to be able to let go. You have to be able to let go because if you hold on, you have to be able to let go.
Oh, yes. That's exactly what it is.
That's it. Yeah.
And as long as you're holding on, you probably can't receive something new, right? Like if you're doing this, you can have this, and then you can have this, you can have this, you can have this.
You have to let go. Knowing that something else will be replaced, something will. It's a premise of feng shui. You let go of a ratty old sofa that makes you feel poor. You sit on some pillows and light a candle, and then before you know it, somebody offers you a sofa.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, or you like sitting on the floor on pillows. I don't know. Like, it's just don't keep the thing that makes you feel poor, bad, or sad around. Let it go.
Yes. Radically with
job,
trust.
relationship, sofa.
Yeah.
Let it go.
100%. Create the space.
So the fun is, what can you let go of today?
Ooh, nice.
Right?
Yeah.
What can you let go of in honor of this?
Yes. Yeah, and we've just passed the full moon as well, so it's a really good time to just do the letting go. And you know, the one of the most important things to let go of, to kind of clean, is like belief systems.
It's the biggest and deepest and most wonderful. Yeah.
So maybe having a look, like that's always what I kind of try and do, is like look at the things that I believe to be true, or that I've held as truth for so long, and see, oh, maybe that isn't so true anymore. Or maybe that's just because that person used to tell me that, or maybe that's the culture that I grew up in, that, you know, all the women end up doing this, or this is how young people operate now, or this is how we should be successful, this is the only way to be successful. You know, what are those old beliefs, and just go through that clutter.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then maybe,
well, you know how I noticed it popped up for me? I like to get specific. It's like my Virgo rising and my teaching thing. Okay, so like a specific is somebody behaves a certain way, and you have a thought, almost like the other day, somebody behaved a certain way, said something that I just really didn't want to hear. And in my head, I heard almost like the old regime, like an older woman, or in the past, or the rules. I don't know if you've ever heard of the book, The Rules. I heard like what you're supposed to do when somebody says that. And then I was like, it's like I saw two people above me, like the old regime, and then I saw me. And I'm like, and I saw you actually too. I felt your energy, and I'm like, Jenna and I will do, I'm like, yeah, they're going to all say this, and I probably should do that, but I'm probably not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. You're the, you know, I'm not going to like, you're out the door, or I didn't feel that. I felt like I'm going to do it a softer way, a different way, in my way. And I was absolutely rewarded from behaving in a way that felt comfortable with not doing those shoulds, or what I perceived should be those shoulds. So it's almost like you can almost hear somebody else's voice speaking. You can hear your mother, or an aunt, or a teacher, or society. If you start hearing something that sounds like someone else, it's speaking to something in you. So it's not really somebody else. It's speaking to something you've learned, or a belief pattern, or belief system, right? And then you can go, that's not mine. Let's try it a different way. Does that make sense?
Yes, an old teacher.
I wanted to like identify.
Yes, that's so good. It's like it's that voice in your head that's like, this is the way, this is the regime. Da, 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 da. It's funny because someone put it to me like belief systems is literally BS. Right? But if we let them lie dormant inside our heads, they control us.
They absolutely can control us. So I think like most people are like, well, you don't know your belief system is off or not serving you. So that's what I want to like identify. What are those things that it's usually a voice. It's some kind of voice, or some kind of like should. You know,
the reprimanding, the shoulding all over yourself. When you should all over yourself, it's not a good time.
It's not a good time.
It isn't.
It's so not a good time.
So like get rid of
like
be
a rebel.
systems.
Be a rebel, right? Like be a rebel. Like we've done that many times before. We've listened to you. Like my friend Linda goes, how's that working for you? You know, like like that way that you keep doing. If it doesn't work, try something different.
Yeah. And what's the worst that can happen? Be open.
You can always go back to the BS.
Always. The BS is always there. It's always available. It's always tempting you to go back.
Always. It's always there. I think the coolest thing is to be able to identify what is the BS. You know what I mean? What is your own BS? You're so used to thinking it and you know, making it yours, but it's not.
I mean, I thought I wanted one thing up until recently. I wanted my life to go a certain way because of the BS, the belief system, that I had to be in charge of everything that I did myself. And that letting other people come in and do what they were doing and do kind of some kind of collaborative thing was weak. And I thought I had to control it all myself.
Wow.
Because that would give me like respect and status if I was doing it and it was all me running the show. And then I realized that was a belief system of mine, that you get more respect from doing it all on your own.
Right.
And then the relief I felt when I discovered that belief system.
That's great.
And I was like, oh wow, collaboration, not competition. And now I can just let other people come in and do stuff. And then I checked in with myself and was like, doesn't that feel better? Yeah, it does. Okay, so that shows you're going down the right path. Like I did some good cleaning of the BS there because I feel better afterwards. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that's really cool. Like, I saw that happen. I mean, I know exactly what you're referring to, and I'm like, oh, yeah, it looks better on you. It looks better on you.
Isn't my energetic pool better off for it?
I see that. But you were like a projector acting like a generator, like having to do everything, and maybe from family, you know, like, and learned, like, we're supposed to be the boss, and we're supposed to, I had that too. I grew up with that too. So, yeah.
And also, it's just not the right thing for everybody anymore.
No.
You know? And there's tons of people that...
Yeah. I learned that a long time ago when I saw my mom doing everything herself, and because she was an artist and she did everything herself, her business couldn't grow as much as she wanted to. And I remember learning a long time ago when I had my own business, and it took all of me, and I could have had 100% of something small or a small percent of something much bigger.
That's what you said to me.
And I feel like I would rather have, because it's not about the money, I'd rather have a small percent of something beautiful and powerful and bigger than 100% of something that just can't grow because you have to do everything
yourself.
Yeah, you can't.
But there's a lot of ego in that. Like, it's
so
still
much
me.
ego.
It's the me show.
It better be me. It's better be the Dara show.
Yeah. And also society
now it's the Dara Jenna show.
I know. But don't you think society gives us so much? Don't you think it gives us so much kudos as well, which is also what keeps us there?
When, like, to do it yourself.
How does she do it all her own? And she juggles everything, and she's, you know, the struggle. We're so attached to the struggle. And we give it so much, like, applause. Like, oh, her life is so hard, but she's a hustler and she does it all. It's like, but hold on, why is that good? Like, why would I not follow the flow and the ease instead?
Yeah, why do I have to do everything myself? Right. Why does that look better? Why do I think that looks better?
It doesn't.
If I'm the main...
No.
Yeah, it just doesn't.
And by the way, I'm also then stopping someone else from having their dream job because I think I can do their dream job instead of doing my dream job.
Yeah, I've learned I can't do their dream job. I tried, right? Like, I ran the business and I did a decent job, but I wasn't the very best at running the business.
No.
So... I think once you get in touch, and this is the thing that we started the video with, once you get in touch with your mission on this planet, then all the help in the world is going to be great for you because it's really about the mission and not about you.
Mm-hmm. When you want something and you check that you really want it from a place of just pure wanting it,
pure, yes.
Then you go.
Then you can get the help you need. High five, my friend. I love ya.
Love you too.
We're good.